Hi guys, it's Allie here. So today I thought I would film another video for you guys. So I have this fabric that I bought in San Francisco probably like a year ago now, and I really love it. And I think because I love it so much, I haven't worked with it yet because I'm nervous about ruining it. I thought I would try to make a pair of really cute summer overalls out of it because I don't have enough overalls apparently. So I bought probably 2 yards of this about, but I actually bought it in 2 different cuts because they were trying to get rid of the second one, and I loved the fabric so much that I just bought it too. And it has this really cool stripe pattern, and it's such a good pink, and I love corduroy right now, and I'm just really in love with it. So I thought I would try to make it into something that I'll wear a lot. I wear too many overalls, so. And I know that some people call like the overalls that are like shorts, like short-alls. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not. I just call them summer overalls because I wear them in summer. Logic, I don't know. But if you notice that I have a different background now, you can go check out, I uploaded a time lapse of me doing that too. So if you want to see how I created this mural, you can go check that out too. And I thought I would kind of try a fun setup and film it. I don't know what else to say in this segment, so let's get to it. So because I sew without using store-bought patterns, I start almost all of my designs with a sketch, so I know what kind of pattern pieces I need to make. So this sketchbook was actually a gift from a friend of mine, and I've used it for about 2 years now, so I have a good amount of sketches in it. I start my sketches with the basic elongated stick figure shape, and then I kind of just fill it in from there. It's taken me a while to kind of figure out a quick like figure drawing sketch that works for me, but I really like this technique because it like helps me create like unique poses every time. And sometimes I even trace out like the pattern pieces I want to make too. And so here I have a front and back design, and I'm also adding a little hair for extra detail. And this is the final sketch. So now I'm going to start cutting out my pieces, and the way I make the lines on my fabric, by the way, is with my handy dandy tailor's chalk, which is like my favorite tool of all time. So the way I make my pattern pieces is I always take my measurements from my sketchbook, which I have a page in there with all my measurements on it, so I know exactly what I need it to look like. And so for this particular garment, I believe that the whole length was 27 inches, and I believe the width was about 10 inches from the hip. And so I just go ahead and trace the shapes that I know I need to make from years of sewing lessons with patterns. So that kind of taught me what basic shapes I need to make, and then I just add my own measurements to it. And it takes a lot of experimentation. I still make plenty of mistakes. And then I just go ahead and cut that all out. And then I also decided to cut up some of my scrap pieces that I had so I could turn them into straps later for the garment. And now it's time to start pinning. So I take one of my front pieces and one of my back pieces, and I put them together and I sew the side seams together. And I made a handy dandy little diagram so it's easier to see what I'm doing. So then I just pin those all the way down, and then I stitch them on my machine with a regular straight stitch. And so here's what it looks like after we've done the first 2 side seams. And so now I'm just going to repeat those exact same steps with the other two pieces. And now I'm just taking my front and back pieces, pinning them pretty side to pretty side, so right side of the fabric to right side of the fabric, and I'm going to stitch that all the way down. Again, my handy dandy little diagram makes it a lot easier to understand than I do. And so after you stitch those, it should start to resemble something of an overall. And when you turn those inside out, it looks like this. And so that's the top of the overalls, and then there's our two pant legs. So this is what we have so far. So there's still a lot of raw edges, a lot of work to be done, but it shows a good base of what we have so far. So I'm pretty happy with the front. I think it's pretty cute and it fits really well. The back, there are obviously some issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this section all the way up pretty close to each other so the straps meet. And I just pinned some straps on to the ones that we cut out. They're not sewn or anything. I just pinned them on so we can see what it looks like. So I'm going to sew up the back, and that'll also fix the extra fabric here. And then I'm also going to stitch these in a little bit more. The hard part about this design for this fabric though is that this fabric has no stretch at all. Instead of putting in a zipper, this is like you slide it on each time instead of having like a zipper or buttons on the side, because I think this design is really cute, but it's kind of hard to get on with this, so we can't make these too tight, because right now it's a good size to like slip on and off, but if we sew these in too much, I'm not gonna be able to get it on. But I think that it's really cute, and the legs, the pants, the shorts fit really well. It's a really good start, so let's get back to sewing. So I took off the overalls, and now I'm just pinning where I wanted to make those slight alterations. Or not so slight, that looks pretty big actually now that I look back at it. And I think that looks a lot better. And so now I'm also stitching that up just a tiny bit more. And so after I sewed those, it started to look a lot better and a lot more like overalls. At this point, I also decided to sew the straps, and so I just folded those pieces of fabric in half, sewed them all the way down, and then sewed a diagonal line across the top. And so after this, I attempted to turn the straps inside out, but because of the corduroy fabric, it was quite difficult. So here's a video of me struggling because I didn't put my hands in front of the camera. And so after I somehow managed to turn those inside out, I decided to serge all of my seams to prevent any unraveling of the fabric. Now to get a finished edge on my overalls, I turned the top back and front edge down about 1/4 inch and then a full inch and pinned it in place to get a finished edge. And then from there I folded the edges all the way around the overalls about 1/4 inch down to get another finished edge. So after I stitched that down to get the straps on, I folded the raw edge of the straps into the little tube that we made to get a finished edge, and then pinned and sewed the straps to the corners of the front and back of the overalls. I then decided to cut out a square piece of fabric for the pockets. I finished the top edge of the pockets again by folding the edge down 1/4 inch and then a full inch and sewing that edge down. I then tried on the overalls to know where I wanted the pockets to be, and then I measured them to make sure that they were even on both sides, and then pinned them and stitched them in place. At this point, I also decided to do a straight stitch all the way down the straps of the overalls on both sides so that they would lay flatter. I then serged the hem of the shorts, and then I folded them up and pinned them at the side seams so that I could get the cute rolled hem. But I didn't like the serging that I had done on the side, so I also seam ripped that. And then I went back and I added some little tiny back and forth stitches to keep the pant roll in place, but so that it wouldn't look like a sewed hem. And so after all the sewing, this is what they look like. So let's go try them on. And so this is the final look. I'm really happy with the way these overalls turned out. I mean, I love a good pair of overalls, but these ones especially were very cute. Because I love pink, and I've been needing a pair of pink overalls to add to my collection. So I styled them with this fun sweater because it was still cold outside, but I'm really excited for all the looks that I can do this summer. If you guys like this video, please let me know. I had a lot of fun making it, so let me know if it's something that you guys like watching. I might make more in the future, and I have some other ones up on my channel right now, so you can go check those out if you want to. That's all from me, so bye, thank you.